Give me an L. 1, 2 there, please, Lyra, if you don't mind.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2.
I'm going to bring you up. We're going to give you some gain, Lyra.
Gain that bitch right up.
I'm now joined by one of Ireland's most famed rising acts. Since releasing her debut EP in 2016, Wild, she has since seen national and global notoriety. She has featured on shows from RTE, The X Factor, The Only Way is Essex, Grey's Anatomy, Love Island. She recently spent over 6 months in the National Irish Airplay Charts Top 100, and just this week created a remix of one of Stevie Nicks' 80s anthems with one of Ireland's most successful dance music exports. It is County Cork's own Lyra. How are you, Lyra?
I'm fantastic. I mean, that doesn't sound like me. I'm like, who's coming on? I thought it was me.
Oh, so you're good. You're nice and cosy there.
I am. I'm lovely and cosy. I literally have whacked the old dressing gown on. I was freezing. It's Baltic over here in the UK today, so I'm nice and cosy, and I'm delighted to be chatting.
Oh, great. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. And where actually are you in the UK at the moment?
I'm in Brighton at the moment, down in my little one bed, and yeah, I'm loving life.
The one beds are great, aren't they? They're little care to take care of them, but they're so good.
Yeah, I can't swing a cat, but like, it's fine. It's doing me for now until I get the LA mansion.
Any second now, it's coming for you. So, Lyra, doing a bit of history, I see that you have, you're a multi-instrumentalist, and you have this unique dynamic vocals. Like it's so you. When you hear your song, you're like, oh, that's Lyra 100%. And so I wanted to get your history of music and finding your style.
Well, actually, like, I always find it so weird because, like, when you were saying at the start about, like, Wild coming out in 2016, I'm like, it sounds so far away. Like, I'm like, gee, Mac, has it been taking me that long? And I kind of forget about, like, that start point that I had where I, like, was doing it myself and, like, as you said, like, almost trying to find myself and find my voice. And I feel like Wild helped me do that because I was very nervous and, like, kind of got a lot of backlash about my dynamic voice. People are like, you're on so loud, or she, like, one comment that always sticks in my mind is somebody saying she sounds like she should be singing in a football stadium, and not like as in like Super Bowl vibes, as in like hooligan like esque chanting. So I was really like put back, but I was like, oh my god. So for a while I kind of like tried to tame myself down in everything that I done, including my vocals, and I suppose then when I branched out and decided to do Wild by myself, I really discovered myself, and I'm still discovering it, and like I feel like I'm getting a bit bold with my voice and I'm letting her come out more and more the more songs I bring out. Like even when I listen back to some of my first stuff, I'm like, yeah, I sound about 12 compared to what I do now.
But it's so wild because, like, especially when I just called you, like, I was expecting, like, that singing voice to answer the phone, but it's your voice. So, like, there's actually a very stark difference. How did you just fit into it? How did you find it?
I think it's just a lot of singing. Like, it's just the more I'm singing and the more I'm developing as an artist, I'm getting comfortable with my natural singing voice. And I don't know how it's so loud and high and so low, and I don't know how it is, but just when I start singing, that's just who I am. And then when I start speaking, I suppose I don't know, when I get nervous in my voice, my larynx goes up a bit and I talk really fast, and people are like, what is happening? I remember a group of lads and they in an audience once, and I sing my first song and I don't talk when I come on stage at the start because I want like the intro and it kind of be a bit like moody and atmospheric and like the show's about to begin kind of vibes. And then I was like, hi guys, how's it going? I'm Lyra. And literally this group of lads, I just saw them look at each other and burst out laughing. And then I started laughing and I was like, I know exactly what you're laughing at down there. And they were shocked that I was saying something. I was like, I know, my vocals and my speaking voice are just like chalk and cheese.
And it's interesting that you bring up the live performances, because I have heard under very good authority that your performances and your concerts are just so electric to be at, and like you seem to really love the live performance end of things. And so, you know, I know that you've done dates before. How has the likes of like Electric Picnic and all that, how have you found these events for you?
I love them. I love performing live. Like, I do get so nervous before I go out on stage. Like, that's probably something that people are like, she doesn't look nervous up there. Like, I'm literally petrified to death. But like the second I'm on stage, that feeling of like performing these songs I've written in a room and getting to sing them to people is like, it's mind-blowing. And, you know, I do want to be that artist that, like, when you come to see me, that, like, you are getting, like, a show, and you are getting something exciting, and you are getting the songs that sound the way they do when you listen to them on Spotify, that it's not like, you know, oh, yeah, she's okay live, but, like, she's better recorded.
Yeah.
I always am striving to make the live as good as recorded, or not even better, just because I feel like people are parting with their money. Like, we don't have it to throw away. I want them to get their value. So I'm like, come on, what can I do?
And that's such a fantastic outlook to have, because there are artists out there, and, like, you know, I don't know them personally. I'm sure they're all wonderful, but, like, you know, there are you know, people out there who just kind of like, oh, shut up, they're here for the music, that's what we'll give them. But, like, you know, it's acts like you who take it above and beyond to, like, make each show as if being there for your music isn't enough. You want to give them extra, and that shows so much of not who you are as a person, but also who you are as a professional. And I think that speaks volumes. And before we get into the reason why things have been going so well for you and all that, I am so curious, right? As I said at the start, you featured in shows, your music is featured in shows, so many of them, but the likes of Grey's Anatomy and Love Island. And I was curious, do you watch these shows?
I watched Grey's Anatomy a lot, like, growing up. Me and my sister were obsessed with it, and I actually remember hearing, like, a Snow Patrol song in it, and I was like, oh my God, like, their music is amazing in it, and, like, it has broken a lot of acts, and I was like, wouldn't it be wicked? And then I kind of, like, I didn't fall out of love with it. I just kind of, like, stopped watching. There's like 15,000 seasons on that. Like, wouldn't even have the time to catch up. And then when they were like, oh, your song's going to be in Grey's Anatomy, and actually got told, like, the day before my birthday, and I was like, this is the best birthday present ever, because it's an iconic series.
Oh, for sure.
And the fact then that they use, like, the whole song, I was, like, expecting, like, 10 seconds while they're, like, cutting somebody's belly open or something, and I was like, sure, no one was going to be listening to that, but, like, the whole song, and then they used it for the promo and put it on their gram. I was like, what is life right now? It was really, really cool.
So that, yeah, because I think that is one of the like little dreams of when you're becoming an artist, kind of like, oh, I'd love if my work was featured on, you know, don't know, whatever show you're into at the time. So it must have been just so crazy to have been on a show that you like, on top of everything. You didn't have to fake it, you know, you actually like the show.
No.
But yeah, Shonda
like
Rhimes.
And getting the Guinness advert was, like, one of my massive things, because, like, we all know how iconic all the Guinness adverts are.
Yeah.
And when Emerald, like, this is like when I was first starting out and Emerald was used on the ad, it was called Bound Together. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Guinness have acknowledged me now. And now they send me gifts, and I'm literally, like, in love with life because I'm obsessed with Guinness.
Well, that deletes my next question of you must drink Guinness, though, so that works out nicely.
Yep.
I wanted to very quickly talk to you because we also feature Light Me Up on the show, which is a song that you did for the animated Riverdance. Yeah, exactly. It's such a good, and it's got all that Irish element to it. And so, you know, you worked with some big names doing that. And, you know, very quickly, if you wouldn't mind, take me through that creative process. What was that like?
That one was such a whirlwind, right? I met up with Bill Whelan. It literally was probably about a week before COVID hit. And, like, obviously we didn't know it was going to happen. But so anyway, I thought I was just meeting him, and he was, like, getting, you know, a few people to try out a song for the movie. So I was like, cool, like, obviously I'm going to meet him. I'd love to meet him anyway. And he played me the movie, but, like, in sketch form, so it was like black and white, and, like, it was, like, so weird to see it. Yeah. And he was like, what message are you taking away from this? And I was literally, like, sweating. I was like, well, what if I say the wrong thing? So I told him what I felt like it was about, and he was like, hey, this is exactly what I want you to write about. Can you write a song for the end of the movie about that, like, in your style, a bit more poppier than, you know, the rest of the tracks that are on it? And I was like, yeah, grand. So I went home literally on my iPad and wrote Light Me Up and wrote 2 other tunes. And I sent Light Me Up first. And I was like, this is the first idea that I came up with. Just a verse and a chorus. Let me know if it's a vibe. If it's not what you want, I have 2 other ideas. I'll send them on. And he was literally like, this is it. This is the one. Like, 2 verse, 2 chorus. Let's get it going.
Yeah.
And that's how it happened.
God.
And I went to his house and recorded with him. And I was like, what has just happened?
Well, you writing machine, Lyra. Just like, yeah, here's a hit for you. What do you think of this? And, like, blow them away because...
I didn't even think it would be the one. I was like, I was like, I'm just going to send it just to see what he thinks.
Yeah, and it's funny, like when you're writing, like, and you know, you get feedback from people. Do you usually find it's the ones that you think the least of, or is it the ones that you've spent days working on, like thinking, like, okay, I've got to get this hook just right, like, or do you find it's a healthy balance?
I think it's normally the ones that I'm like, they come, and I know this sounds so cliche because everyone says it, but the ones that come a lot easier. Like, Light Me Up was literally like in a day. That was it. I wasn't overthinking it. I was just trying to get an idea down to send him something so that he wouldn't forget me. And then, like, a lot of the songs come out like that. Like, you know, example, Falling. Like, I actually was going to the bathroom and I just started joking, being like, do you like me like this? Do you like me like that? And, like, I was doing, like, do you like me with boobs? Do you like them when they're flat? Like, I was joking. And then I came in and I sang it, and they were like, that's actually a really good melody. Obviously, we need to change the lyrics. And I was like, it is.
I kind of raging you did now, yeah. So, Lyra, let's talk about the obviously huge recent success of Losing My Mind. I mean, it was everywhere. As we were saying, top 100 for 6 months. I mean, you know, someone who, in all honesty, this is just in the last 6 years that you have gone so far down this route and you have found this success. What was it like to hear your song all over the country?
It was cool because, like, I kind of felt like, you know, although it's like it is 6 years, like, I'm discarding 2 of those from COVID. I'm not allowing myself to take them on. I'm just like, I'm not doing that to myself. But, like, to be able to come out of COVID and release Lose My Mind and people to kind of accept it and kind of like not have forgotten about me. I was very worried during the pandemic that I would be forgotten about as an artist because, you know, I write a lot by myself, but I need to go into the studio to get them produced, and I wasn't able to do that. And I suppose I was just nervous. I just built up the momentum, and then it went so quiet. So, like, to get it played as much as it did, I was like, wow, like, this shows you the power of your fans and the power of, like, radio stations that can get your music out there. I was thrilled. I was bloody honoured. And,
like, out of curiosity, we were just talking with Ruth Ann the other week when it came to writing and the likes of sitting on songs and stuff like that. How long were you sitting on the song? Did this just go right from writing it to be like, this is a hit, get it out there as fast as possible, or was it a little while longer?
I wish that was the way of life, of love. I literally have so many songs. I'm like, when can we take this to the world? But it does take some time coming from, like, a demo standard, and then, like, you constantly write, so then getting the days where you can go back into the studio and re-record the whole thing. And, you know, sometimes you get what they call demoitis, where you're like, get so obsessed with the demo, but you want to change it and you end up messing the song up and having to go back to square one and trying to get everyone in the room now together after the backlog of what they had of tracks that they now need to get out after the pandemic. It is a bit of a nightmare, but, like, they get there, which is the end result.
Demoitis. I'm so glad there is a term for it because, yeah, that makes so much sense because you do get kind of trapped in that creative flow, and then because you've been listening to it so much, you nearly hear it too much and you're like, lads, we could add a trumpet in there. Come on, let's just get a trumpet in there for the crack. But speaking of new music, let's get to Edge of 17, the remix, the redo of Stevie Nicks' 80s anthem. You know, you are a fan of Stevie Nicks, I take it?
Oh, yeah. Like, those vocals, like, how could you be a vocalist and not be a fan of this woman? Like, the rawness, the pure talent that she has that comes out for a voice box is amazing. Like, mind-blowing.
Yes, and you were working with John Gibbons on this bad boy. What was it like to work with him?
Oh, my God, he's so nice. He's just such a nice, cute man. And, like, it was great because John had this track and he was just like, I've been looking for a vocalist for, like, he's looking for a vocalist for ages, and he was just like, would you be up for giving it a go? And, like, it being Stevie Nicks, I think, really made me want to give it a shot and just see, because, like, if he came to me with, like, an Ariana Grande, I'd be like, I won't be able to sing that for love nor money. There's no point in asking me. Yeah. But when I heard the song, I was like, I think I could do something with this. So we just spent a few hours literally in the studio just belting out the song, and he was like, this is what I've been waiting for. And I was like, I actually really enjoyed that, and I felt like I could get myself across uniquely with my own voice, rather than sometimes when you do covers as an artist, I feel personally that I can end up, like, sounding or, like, emulating the original, which is no benefit for me as a solo artist. So with this one, I was like, yeah, I feel like this is kind of like a good balance for both of us. Like, I get my unique singing across. John done an amazing production on it, and it was a win-win.
Yeah, because you hit the nail on the head with the unique vocals. I mean, I got to listen to it and I was just like, yeah, that's Lyra. 100% that is Lyra without question. And it sounds so good with the track. And so with all of these things going on, Lyra, what can we look forward to in the future with your name on it?
Well, festival season is back.
Oh, it's
with
back.
A bang. Mm-hmm. And I am going to be there. Every festival that asks me to come, I'm just going to say yes. I mean, this is my new thing now. It's a yes, it's a yes, it's a yes, it's a yes. I want to get back on stage. I'm doing some new songs in my set that people haven't heard before, which I'm thrilled about. And I also, probably get killed for saying this, but sure, they know me. I can't hold my water. I'm trying to get a really fast turnaround on a new track. So hopefully you'll have that in your ears as well. So I'm very excited. Yeah. I just want to go. Life's been on pause long enough now. Let's go.
Well, good on you, Lyra. I can't believe it. You literally just brought out a song last week and now you're bringing this out again. That's incredible. Okay.
I say it now, it could still be another 6 months' time. You know the music industry.
Yeah. Lyra, thank you so much for taking the time for coming on to the show. It has been an absolute pleasure to have you. And we can't wait to see you at every festival stand and banner that is out there and for all the new music that is hopefully coming very soon.
Yeah. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to me. I've had a blast.
Cheers, Lyra. You are probably one of the most easiest people to talk to that I have ever met.
Because I won't shut the hell up, that's why.